After winning just about every award there is to win here, BYD Singapore thought, you know what, we need a new challenge. So they brought a new brand, a new car, and they've decided to take on a new class, the Tauke class. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of all our future uploads. So there are a few things on the Denza D9 that give away this car's electric nature, and chief of which is this, the front grille. Now this might have a handsome, stately looking front grille, but it's not actually a real grille, of course, because it's electric. These are just trim pieces made to look like a grille. Now, further along the side, you can see you have your signature LED headlights, as well as a pretty short front overhang. Of course, that's for maximum cabin space, and of course that means maximum comfort for your passengers. So the Denza D9 in Singapore comes in two variants, a front-wheel drive version and an all-wheel drive version. Both come with 18-inch rims, as well as this giant, huge expanse of car. Now it's a good thing because you get the one-touch electric sliding doors that can also be activated through the key or from a number of buttons inside the car. Now this door is huge, and this window, quite interestingly, actually rolls down. So your rear passengers can get a huge, airy experience even when they're in the car. Now, of course, with a vehicle this size, you get an equally large boot, which we will cover in just a bit. But first I want to show you this very nice full-length LED rear light bar, and of course this little spoiler. Well, little's not the right word, is it? It's huge. This spoiler up at the top here with the third brake light. Now, back to the boot. As we can see, fully electric, and it's got this giant garage door of a boot lid. And of course, a vehicle this size, getting in, not an issue whatsoever. I can very easily come in here, and I can of course lower the rear seats should I need more cargo space. So here we are at the very back of the Denza D9, because this is a 3-row MPV. And now, unlike many other 3-row MPVs, sitting back here is not a punishment. It is every bit as lovely to feel and sit around back here as it is in the first 2 rows. You still get your lovely leather interior, which, might I add, on the all-wheel drive version, which this is Napa leather. So you still get all of that around all of your seats. You still get your own personal air vents on each side. You got your own personal reading lights. You got your own little window. It's actually quite a big window for a 3rd row of an MPV. You get cup holders, your own speakers, a little tray for you here, and a USB Type-C charging port on either side. Now you also get seat back pockets, which are full-sized, and in terms of space. Now, this is of course not going to be the most spacious place around. Now, this seat is in a normal position for the 2nd row passengers. That one's moved all the way forward so you can see me. But I have still a lovely fully flat floor, so lots of wiggle room for my feet. Knee room is just about enough for someone of my height, 1.8 meters, and headroom is abundant, so that's not an issue unless you're a Harlem Globetrotter or something. But otherwise, sitting right here, very nice, very comfortable. You can put child seats on either side, and of course you have center armrest for if you have nobody in the middle, and then you can just lounge around and chat with your friends in front. So here we are in the prime seats of the Denza D9, the 2nd row. Now this is where you get your 2 individual captain's chairs, and what a bunch of chairs these are. Very comfortable, fully adorned in the aforementioned Napa leather. And of course, being a Tauke class automobile, you can't just have normal seats. You can't just have 2 captain's chairs and call it a day. No, you need lots of tech and of course lots and lots of comfort. So we'll start at the front with this. This is the seat back of the seat in front of you, but you get on both sides a full fold-out tray table with cup holder indents and some other little indents for your phone, and put it here, and I don't know what else you might need. But this is a full-size tray table, very useful. I've had breakfast on this. It works very nicely. Then you also of course have your seat back pockets down there. Now, in the center of the car, this is the first really interesting thing I want to show you, is this. It is a fridge. It's a proper fridge as well. This goes down to -6 degrees Celsius or up to, I think it's 50 degrees Celsius if you want to keep things hot. And this is quite a fairly big fridge. You can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles of water in here, and there's still space, I think, if I wanted to, for 1 or 2 more. And this you can set on a delay. So let's say you turn off your car, you go away, you can set it on a delay of up to 7 hours where power will keep running to keep the stuff in the fridge cold. Moving on, we have the window sunshade. Now these are manually operated, but very nicely they cover the whole window. This window, by the way, does open. So it's raining now, so I'm not going to open it, but this window does open to give your rear passengers a giant, lovely view of the outside world. And then of course you have your Dyno Audio premium sound system speakers for you to enjoy the tunes from back here. Now on the side of the seats you also have a slot for wireless charging, up to 50 watts of wireless charging for your phone, as well as a USB Type-C charging port. Right, now onto the seat itself. So the seat itself is controlled either through these 2 little buttons on the side or through the screen. So you just simply slide to unlock it, and then you get all of your seat controls and ventilation controls, seat massage controls. Yep, that's right, this has seat massaging. And one thing I want to point out is this. Now this is very cool. So on your seat adjustment menu, you can see boss key, which adjusts the seat in front of you. So as you can see, if there's nobody in the front, I've got my chauffeur driving me, I can simply move the front seat all the way forward, as I'm now doing, and then I can adjust my seat into 0 gravity mode. Check it out. I have infinite leg space. My feet can't even touch the seat in front of me. My leg rest does rise up. I can raise it up even more, and I can have a full-on proper snooze business class like seat here in the back of my Denza D9. So now we are here in the front seats of the Denza D9, and though it might not be as spacious and palatial as the second row, it is by no means a bad place to be. So let me walk you through it. Up front we have your leather steering wheel, 2 spokes with physical buttons. Thank you very much to Denza for physical buttons. Do enjoy those. In the middle we have, once again, the giant screen, but unlike all the other BYDs we've seen so far, this one doesn't rotate because I guess it's too big of a screen to rotate. Now inside the screen you have, of course, all of your usual BYD functions and gizmos and gadgets like your 360-degree camera and your wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, so you can control everything from the car through the center screen, including, of course, the karaoke system. But there's so much to talk about in D9, we're going to skip that in this video. Below that we have wood trim dash. Now this is actual wood for the dash, which is very nice to see. Of course, this is a upmarket luxury MPV. And then below that we have your air vents, and then your 50-watt wireless charger for your phone up front. And then we come to this center console area. Now the center console is actually really quite nice. You have your crystal look gear lever. All of the buttons here are physical buttons as well, which is very nice to see. You have your buttons to open both rear doors. You have your buttons to open the boot, as well as the fridge. Then you also have, of course, your drive mode buttons and region level toggle. Now behind that we have a couple cup holders, and then inside the armrest we have a bit of cubby storage, as well as some other cubby storage under here and some USB ports down there as well. Then of course we come to the seats, and one of the main differences in the seats between the front wheel drive version and this, the all wheel drive version, is that these are also massaging seats. On the front wheel drive version you only get the massaging seats in the second row, and the massage is not as sophisticated, should I say, as the massaging in this car. Now the massage function in this car is fantastic. It is actually brilliant. And then of course you also have on your Nappa leather seats, by the way, lots of electrical adjustment in every direction you might want, as well as heating and ventilation. So the only thing left to do is to see how the Denza D9 drives. So here we are driving the Denza D9, and right off the bat you do kind of feel like you're driving a bit of a bus. It's a very luxurious bus, but you sit really high up. You got your big steering wheel in front of you. and you can just feel how large the car is. But in actual fact, despite the D9 size, it's actually really easy to drive. The turning circle is tight, the steering is light, it's toggleable, the steering weight. You can have it slightly lighter, slightly heavier. I prefer it slightly lighter. And it's just easy to drive. It's quiet, it's comfortable, and of course there's ample power should you need to rescue your VIP from a horde of passionate fans. Now this is the all-wheel drive version, so it has a dual motor setup, a motor at the front and at the rear, and it's actually a fairly small motor that's at the rear, just 45 kilowatts of power from the rear motor. Most of it is actually from the front, but combined, the all-wheel drive D9 like this one is creates 275 kilowatts, or about 370 horsepower, and a maximum output of 470 newton meters of torque, which is actually quite a lot. That's enough to get this even at its over 2.5 ton body weight from 0 to 100 in 6.9 seconds, which is really quite fast. So with such high weight numbers, generally that comes with a loss of efficiency. Now Denza has tried to combat this by putting a whacking great battery inside, a 103 kilowatt hour BYD Blade battery, which officially is good for about 480 kilometers on a full charge, but in actual fact, during my testing, I've managed to get it pretty close to 500 km mark, which for driving around in Singapore is not bad at all. And of course, when you do eventually run out of juice, you can always head to a DC fast charger to juice your D9 back up at up to 166 kilowatts of DC fast charging capability. Now, as comfortable up front and as easy to drive as the D9 is, it really is engineered to give the passengers behind an incredible ride. And one of the ways it does this is through this system called deluxe, and it's an intelligent suspension damping system. And basically what it does is it scans the road ahead to kind of preemptively adjust the dampers to make it as smooth and as magic carpet like a ride as possible for the passengers in the rear. Now another thing it does is that it adjusts the damping so under braking it doesn't pitch forward as much, so it's once again more comfortable for the rear passengers. But once you have passengers in the rear and you get a bit more of a full load going, the dampers feel much more finely tuned to having the extra weight, and ride becomes very, very good indeed. So after saying all that, I think it's quite fair to say that this is a good place to be, but the place I want to be is back there. So cameraman, you take over, I'm going to jump behind. So if you're looking for a car that can make you and your whole family feel like VIPs, I think the Denza D9 might just be what you're looking for, especially so at its incredibly competitive price point. Once again, I think BYD and now Denza has come into Singapore with yet another banger of a vehicle, and I would not be at all surprised if this one as well goes on to win a whole bunch of awards. As always, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.
Motorist.